The purpose of this podcast is to educate and inform. It is no substitute for professional care by your doctor or your qualified healthcare professional. Never disregard or delay professional medical advice because of something you've heard on this podcast or in any linked material. Guests who speak on this podcast express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions. Dr. Shirley neither endorses nor opposes any particular opinion discussed on this podcast. The views expressed on this podcast have no relation to those of any academic, hospital, practice, institution, or other entity with which Dr. Shirley may be affiliated.
Welcome to Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty. This podcast is curated by Dr. Shirley Madhere, MD, as the definitive source of holistic wellness through beauty.
Welcome back to part 2 of the Forever Fab podcast. This is my interview with Toni Breidinger. Now, Toni, in addition to a race car driver, you're a role model. What do you think you'd like to teach or instill in girls or boys or whomever? What legacy do you want to leave?
There's so many things I feel like I want to teach people. Just, looking back at what I wish I knew when I was, 13 years old, there's so many things that I would tell myself, and it's the same type of things that I want to, share with other people and inspire other people to think like and be like. I would say the biggest thing is confidence is so important. I feel like, when you're at that, teenager age, and, I feel like everyone experiences it, but especially when you're a teenager, a lot of people lack in, the confidence department. And I think like the biggest thing is don't be afraid to be the first you. Even if no one else is doing it, even if you don't see anyone doing what you're trying to do or what you want to do, still go for it. Like, why does that even matter? Just do your thing and do what you're passionate about. But yeah, I would say the biggest thing is, don't be afraid to be the first you.
I love that. I'm quoting it, and it will be retweeted and spread all over the social media universe. Thank you for that. I think that's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now you are competing on the NASCAR circuit. That's a pretty big deal. I'm sure things happen that you didn't anticipate. As you mentioned earlier, maybe a tire goes out. Maybe there was a little slick on the road that nobody anticipated, and God forbid, it all works, it's all fine in the end, hopefully. But how do you transfer dealing with sort of negative circumstances or adversity? How do you transfer your preparation for that off of the track and into life?
Yeah, I was just talking to my team owner kind of about this subject, and he said you have to have a short memory. Like if something bad happens out there on the track, you better forget about it the next lap and keep going. So I kind of think that way in life, like, take from the negative, learn from it, but forget about it, move on. That's in the past, and just focus on forward and what's in the present and future.
That makes a lot of sense. Keep moving forward. That's what you do best. Now, what do you do? Speaking of, having a short memory and trying to forget the past or learn from it, but keep it where it should be in the past. How do you de-stress? How do you decompress from your day? Do you have a wellness or well-being routine or any wellness rituals?
Yeah, honestly, I'm trying to work on that myself. I'm not always the best with, taking time for myself. I feel like I'm always working, and sometimes I kind of feel like some sort of pressure on myself when I'm not working. So I'm trying to, get away from that and let myself know it's okay to take time off and to relax a little bit. But really for me, I just love just quiet or just hanging out with friends and grabbing a bite to eat, or just even sitting with friends and not even talking, just being in the presence and just kind of hanging out and chilling. I think for me, on my free time right now, just because I'm always doing something that's chaotic and loud at the racetracks and all that kind of stuff, I feel like just kind of some quiet and chill time with people that I'm close with and people that mean a lot to me.
Wonderful. And I'm presuming that one of those people is your sister, Annie.
Yes. I actually don't get to see her that often because she's on the other side of the country. But I am going to see her in a couple weeks at my next race. So I'm really excited. But yeah, she's the best. Automatically when I talk to her, I just feel this sense of calmness and comfort.
Yeah. Well, she is your twin. Yes.
Yes.
so you understand each other at a minimum.
Yes, definitely. We know each other like no one else, for sure.
And does she race also? Do you sort of compete with each other whenever you do get together?
So she used to race. Basically, we grew up racing with each other all up until we got to like senior year of high school when she chose, college. And then I chose the route of trying to be a race car driver. I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. She moved to Indiana, went to Purdue, and she has a degree in mechanical engineering, and she has an amazing job with Apple right now. So
Wow.
she's killing it. Yeah.
Yes, you both are. Okay, runs in the family. Now, what are some of your aspirations, Toni? Is there a track you want to race, a specific car you want to drive? What is next for you?
Yeah, I would say, short-term goals. What's next for me is, my race coming up. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. I would love to get, my best finish of the season. I'm with a new team, so I just want to get them like a solid, good win to end the season on. It's the last one of the season. So that's kind of like my short-term goal. And then my next big race coming up is Daytona. So I think, that would be really, really cool. That'd be next year. But that's the first race of the season. So I feel like that's what my eyes are going to be on next after the season's over.
Now, those are your career aspirations. Do you have any aspirations or hopes outside of your career that don't involve racing?
Yeah, I have, aspirations in like the fashion world. I would love to be on a cover of a magazine. I would feel like that's kind of like my next goal. Like I said before, I have like this campaign coming out with FP Movement. So that's going to be really exciting. I love working with them. And then, I have like long-term goals where I want to do more than just business stuff. I somehow want to help, other younger girls to pursue things. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do yet, but I just want to help people at the end of the day. That's kind of what I want to leave my mark on. But I would say for like next year's goals, Daytona, and then maybe like some more stuff in the fashion world would be really amazing.
So if someone were to grant you this fashion cover, which magazine would it be?
Definitely Vogue.
Your dream magazine.
Definitely Vogue.
Mine too, but I'm not sure I'll get a cover. I've gotten a few mentions on Vogue.com in the past.
Oh, nice.
Not sure about the cover. It's all good. It's all good. I have other skills. Okay, so who or what has been an unexpected teacher in your life? This could be a person or an experience. What person or what experience did you have where you thought, oh my gosh, this actually taught me something really valuable?
Good question.
Thank you.
I would say, I've had a lot of teachers in my life. With racing, you have coaches and your team owners that, give you instruction. I definitely have learned from them, but I wouldn't say they're unexpected. If I'm with a team, I expect to learn from you and for you to teach me. I would say someone unexpected. Honestly, my sister, which is kind of funny because, I would never think that she would be the one to teach me things because we're the same age. It's like how, like, you're not going to teach me stuff. We're the same age, learning life together. But I've definitely learned a lot from her. And she has qualities that I really look up to and I strive to be more like. I would say my sister is someone unexpected that I've learned some stuff from.
That's cool. We're going to take that audio and this clip and we will send it to you so you may send it to her.
Yes.
As a just because, video card, like, sis Annie, I love you. And this is one.
I always tell her, I always talk about her all the time. And I make fun of her because when she was in college and I would visit her, her friends would be like, I had no idea Annie had a twin sister. I'm like, Annie, I talk about you all the time. I hype you up. Nobody knows I exist in your world.
And meanwhile, about you, she's crickets, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me one thing that most people do not know about you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I would say a lot of people don't realize I'm a twin until I say it. I feel like that's unexpected, but I also am always talking about it. I feel like I'm always talking about Annie. One thing that people don't know is maybe I'm like left-handed. I feel like that's kind of different. I feel like people always point that out when I'm writing. They're like, oh, you're left-handed. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. It's like not an average thing.
Right.
But I would say those are kind of like the two things that people kind of get caught off guard.
And are you and Annie fraternal twins or identical twins?
Yeah, so we're fraternal. We look completely different. She actually has curly hair. Yeah, it's crazy. And we have totally different personalities. It's pretty funny.
That's pretty cool. I love genetics. I just love the way that works. Okay. Now, what is your personal beauty or skincare routine?
Ooh, I definitely love my skincare routine. I think that's super essential, especially with being in a sweaty, gross helmet for multiple hours. Definitely important to make sure, you cleanse everything, detox your skin. But I would say my go-to is like washing my face. I like to use very gentle products, nothing harsh. But yeah, I love to use like the CeraVe hydrating face wash. It's probably my favorite. It's like very gentle. And their lotion. I feel like less is more. You don't want to like overload your skin with all this like harsh stuff. So for me, just kind of more like natural skincare products.
Yeah, got it. And in terms of your makeup, do you have is there like one beauty product you absolutely cannot live without, whether it's makeup or skincare? One, like you were, you were going to the moon on another Jeff Bezos, trip. And you were told one thing, sister, one beauty product. What is it?
I would have to say this is I don't even know if this is a beauty product, so I kind of want to answer this in two parts.
Sure.
But I have like an obsession with chapstick. Like I have raced with chapstick in my pocket before. Not like I'm going to put it on while I'm racing, but I always have it on me. Like I have a tiny little pocket in my race suit and I always just have chapstick in there. Right. I just have like a weird obsession if my lips are ever chapped. But that's also not really like a beauty product. I would say for beauty, I kind of go with mascara. That's what I go to. I feel like I've always loved like big lashes. So
yeah, we share those too. I'm not a chapstick person, but the whole chapped lips thing is so like not for me. It's one of the things I cannot deal with. So I always have lip balm. I put one in every bag, in every coat pocket. It's just like, where's my lip gloss?
Yes.
And also lashes. If I don't wear makeup unless I'm going to a special event. But if I had to do one thing where it's like, oh, let me just do something, I agree with you. It would be mascara.
Oh yeah, it's a game changer for sure.
It is for sure. Now you are of Lebanese and American descent. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Has your culture had any influence on your career, on your philosophy of life, on how you live your life?
Yeah, definitely. My mom was born in Beirut and she definitely, brought a lot of things from what she learned over there and her culture over there. She's definitely, you can tell she's from there. She has definitely held on to her roots for sure. And I feel like I really embraced that ever since I was a kid. And I still embrace it today. And she's taught me things that have been really important. And just culture-wise, I feel very in touch with that part of me, which I'm very grateful for. So yeah, my mom's very in touch with her roots and really raised me and my twin sister Annie and our brother with her values.
Yeah. What little I know about the Lebanese culture, I learned from friends when I was in college, but also on a relatively recent trip to Beirut. And I absolutely fell in love with the people and the culture. And I really do hope I'm able to go back soon one day and just, immerse myself in Beirut and all things Lebanese. It is really a rich, warm, friendly, passionate culture. And I think it's fantastic. So tell your mother I love her.
Still want to cook for you.
Okay, great. I'll accept. Well, Toni, this has been quite an exhilarating interview. Thank you so much for your time. This brings us to the last question, which I call the Fab Five. And the Fab Five question is, what are your top 5 recommendations for living a beautiful and fabulous life?
Top 5. Okay.
Yeah, I'll write these down.
Number 1 is get good sleep. That is so essential. You will be in so much of a better mood. You just need to make sure you get enough sleep. I feel like that's just number 1. You need to sleep enough. Number 2, which I'm not always good at, is hydrating. I feel like that's super important. Helps, flush out anything in your body, and just I feel like that's what really makes somebody glow. You just know if you hydrate a bunch. Yes, drink enough water, very important. I think surrounding yourself with really good people and eliminating toxic people in your life. I feel like it doesn't matter if you've been friends with them for 10 years. If they're toxic, cut them out. I don't want that. 2 more. Okay. I would also say setting goals for yourself and writing lists or writing in your journal every morning. I do it every morning. I think that's very important. That's really changed my life. I feel like it helps you just get grounded, helps you get focused, and just set like a good tone for your day in the morning.
Excellent.
And then last but not least, I would say do things that make you happy and do it for yourself, not for someone else.
2 things that make you happy. I love it. I love it. And on top of that, is there anything else you'd like to let me or our listeners know before we sign off with you?
I would say, kind of going back to what I said earlier, is don't be afraid to be the first to you. Confidence is seriously everything. It's life-changing. And even if you aren't super confident, fake it till you make it. I have done that for a long time. To that point of being confident, just fake it till you make it, and you'll get there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Toni, for your time, and what an exciting career you've had so far. And I'm sure this is going to continue to be even more exhilarating and exciting. You have definitely collected a number of firsts, and I'm sure you will keep accumulating more firsts. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. It's so great talking with you. I appreciate it.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you for listening to this week's Forever Fab podcast with my fabulous guest, Toni Breidinger. If you feel inspired by Toni's story, support her mission to continue racing to the top and buy her merch at tonibreidinger.com. Thank you, Toni, so very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time on the next go around.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
Congratulations. See you then. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty, curated by Dr. Shirley Madhere, MD. Live beautifully and help make the world a more beautiful place.